Manchester United and INEOS will listen to offers for the majority of the players, aka 90% of the summer squad this season, apart from Kobbie Mainoo, Alejandro Garnacho and Rasmus Hojlund, although it's been reported that the club are not actively to part ways with Marcus Rashford. However, United will consider a significant offer, particularly if it indicates that Marcus Rashford is keen to move on new challenges such as Paris Saint-Germain. Does this indicate that the club are moving away from the Glazenomics, allowing Ten Hag to stay and to build a new squad, meaning clearing out the deadwood and player power? We will also explore in this video how much money can be freed up from the wages, the sale, and it can reach up to 300 million to be used for the summer transfer window, and who can we actually recruit for that money? But last but not least, we will touch base on the transfer market, what is going on with Benjamin Sesko, Victor Gyökeres, and the two main striker targets the Manchester United target. These are the top stories from Mufc Realist TV. Mick and Mark in the studio, of course. You know what to do. Smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, and let's get into the show.
Has the Premier League ever been more challenging?
I feel welcome. Dit is my home and I want to achieve success.
And good afternoon. We are live at Mufc Realist TV. How are you all doing that's tuning in? It is Tuesday, of course, the 30th, and we are looking for a semi-final today with the Champions League, no other than PSG versus Real Madrid. That would be interesting. Oh, no. Sorry, that's Bayern Munich, Real Madrid. Interesting as well. But anyway, this is the first stream of the day. I'm waiting for my co-host Mark, who hasn't really rocked up as of yet. And sometimes you get that when you do production. So anyway, while you're at it, please leave your comment in the comment section below. Mark is kind of pulling in at the moment at the last day of the minute. So let's pull Mark into the stage. And while we do so, please do not forget to give us a little bit of a cheeky like, subscribe if you haven't, and always hit that notification button so you never miss when we go live. Mr. Mark Nurse is finally coming in raw. How are you doing, Mr. Mark?
Big up, guys. I'm chilling.
Big up.
You know, it's one of those things. It's a good day, enjoying it. You know, it's sunny, it's warm in Dusseldorf at the moment, so I'm happy. I'm happy.
Yeah, did you spot any Jadon Sancho there in Dusseldorf?
999, but you know, it's one of those things that I don't think I'll be spotting him around here too much. Maybe when I'm over in Dortmund or Gelsenkirchen, I'll probably see him more often. That's pretty much
100%,
his stomping grounds.
I'm good to see you smiling, being positive. There's a lot of things going on in the ether at the moment. This is Beat the Press, not Be the Press, but Beat the Press. I know it's kind of like that to be Manchester United supporter this time of the round. Like, we have 4 games to play in the Prem and 1 FA Cup final, and there's been a lot of stuff going out there at the moment, and we're here to discuss it as per usual. Starting off with what happened yesterday, Manchester United are willing to listen to offers for players this summer. We are looking at approximately 90% fire sale of the first squad, except Kobbie Mainoo, Alejandro Garnacho and Rasmus Hojlund. Although the club are not actively looking to part ways with Marcus Rashford. But however, today comes out, if a bid comes out substantial enough, the club is willing to listen for both Hojlund and Bruno Fernandes. It's up to Rashford. Marcus and Rashford. And it's up to then Rashford. What you going to do, Marcus? Are you going to stay? Because at the end of the day, he signed a 4-year contract. And it's down to his brother, his entourage. Let's start with that, Mark. Let's start with Rashford. Do you think he's looking like a person that he wants to stay, or do you think he needs rejuvenation to go somewhere else?
Well, I mean, it could go both ways. You know, like I keep saying, he's largely talented. You know, very good at doing what he does. At the same time, he has not shown that, and he's also been very inconsistent over the course of the seasons here, and this is his 9th season. So if you're looking at it from the record, it shows that he's been more, how do I say it, inconsistent for 4 to 5 seasons than he was actually successful, right? The best was last season, the worst probably this season. So my thing is, if he doesn't change his tune in terms of if he was to get a performance in the squad before the season is over, and we don't see a dramatic upturn in performance consistently throughout that 90 minutes or that period of time he's on the field, then maybe if INEOS decides to move on, I'd say move on. If they
But I
keep him,
think
then let's keep him.
I think this is what's going on behind the scenes that we don't know. They are not mugs. 100% INEOS and Dale Brailsford came in and did that 100 days strategical review or 90 days strategical review where they flipped every stone and said, well, including players, though, they said, what are you doing here? You're wasteful, right? Omar Barada came out to say earlier as well, a couple of months ago, to say, we're willing to look at 2 years in a contract, and if they're not performing, we're about to sell them. So what's coming out yesterday and that they are looking for a fire sale gives me an indication. Don't shoot the messenger here. This is what I'm thinking. That gives me an indication that either Ten Hag has been listened to, been backed to actually be able to clear, some people call it dead woods, and build a squad that can play the way the INEOS want to play, right? We're talking about people with athleticism, with mental ability, people that can run up and down the pitch. And if you look at Rashford, for me, as an example, as not as a scapegoat, but there's a lot of players that don't track back. And when we lose possession, they don't track back, right? So, but if you look at Arsenal, for instance, they hunt in packs. You know what I mean? They hunt in triangles. So if somebody loses the ball, they win the ball back. They rush back, win the ball back, and stop playing. And that is, and that is kind of what. Yeah, and that is kind of what I kind of see, that perhaps they are going with Ten Hag for another year. I believe they are 100% because there is no other manager out there, to be honest. There's rumors about Tuchel, but Tuchel is more of an agent talk. And if you look at what INEOS is looking at, they're looking at persona profiling, meaning, are you a team player? Are you an ego? We don't want egos. We want people that can work in a team. And Tuchel, according to me, yes, kind of good track record, but he's been falling out with every single club he's been in. He's been sacked by Chelsea, didn't work with the manager over there. Bayern Munich also sacked him because he's too much of an ego. And now Bayern Munich is kind of asking him, please stay. I don't know if he's going to stay or not. But for me, it sounds more, and by the reports, it's more agent fillers filling it out, not INEOS. What's your thoughts?
My thing is, I'm not too stressed about the manager in the sense that, regardless if you take the manager out of the equation and you say, what are we going to do next season? It's still going to affect any manager coming in. Now, as we see with the fan base, a season of a rebuild, we still expect to finish top 4. We still expect to compete in the Champions League. We still expect to compete. So it's one of those things that it's going to be pressure on any manager, whether it's Ten Hag, whether it's anyone, whether it's Tuchel, based on the fans' necessity to win.
Yeah, 100%. Now, I'm just going to go in a community group chat what we have on Telegram. Lovely community. Please join. The link is in the video description, how to join our Telegram community chat. But there's people sharing stories, tweets. I just want to add this to the stage. Basically, this came out that Erik Ten Hag is due to hold substantial talks with Jason Wilcox this week about what he sees as the state of his squad and the problem he's facing. So that is pretty much giving the indication that, hey, Glazenomics has been playing a part. Now I want to clear out the players that I don't want. And here's the problem. And you guys go and fix it, right? So finally, this is what I want to talk about. This is kind of gives an indication that you've been back to certain degrees, but when it comes to financial decisions in Glazenomics, I'm gonna play a clip from yesterday's show with Nuradin, Mr. Structure was explaining as well, means that they'd rather not sort of selling because of the commercial value, and it's undermining the manager. But this time around, I think with INEOS at the power, in charge of the footballing operations, they seriously had a conversation, did a strategic review, and that's why you see the fire sale. Nobody's safe, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of players, on that list where if the offer comes in, we're going to sell them. If a huge offer comes in, well, we're going to negotiate, and well, we need to get rid. So it's just about, fans understanding that, it's going to take time, regardless of, we're probably going to see 4 to 5 players guaranteed leaving based on the circumstances and mitigating circumstances, their contracts expiring, whatnot. But the whole hope is to get a few more key players out, some statement exits that is going to impact the squad.
Yes.
And really shake up the mentality of players,
Not
letting them know.
statement, but impact. Impact out.
It's basically the same thing. A statement
Impact
out would be a big player, in my opinion, that leaves the club.
But there's something that fan base has been crying out for. Stop the player power, get rid of the deadwoods, and wouldn't you back it if it happens? You know, I said, like, you know, you can bring Ten Hag in, Ten Hag out. I don't really care. I look at the club, what's best for the team. And just because on paper you're the best player doesn't mean that you're necessarily the best player. Because what INEOS wants to do now, they want to formalize a style of play. They say to Ten Hag, would you be able to stay just to be a track coach manager? Let us know what kind of positions and targets you need. We will fix the rest. And he says, sure, yeah.
I think that's understood. I mean, he worked with a proper structure at Ajax. I feel like if he has a proper structure with the quality of the people that come in, like Omar Barada and Jason Wilcox, why would you even have to worry about the players coming in? I think most likely all he needs to say is, I want this type of player, and they will find one in that profile. So it ain't stressful. Yeah. It's more like it's a aid to Ten Hag and the club and improving us going forward than anything else.
Yeah. On the other hand, like, you know, we also got to be mindful, like, you know, this vanity project, this INEOS revolution, we haven't seen it yet, right? So until then, until they're on board, until everything has been executed, only then we can judge it. But for now, it's open in the air, like, you know, for criticism, and it's open. Everyone has been slated, manager, players, the structure. They need to tighten that balloon as soon as possible, Mark, to be honest. But listen, before we continue, we have the legendary VAR room. Big up for everyone that's tuning in, guys. Let us know what you think. Ivo Bosic is here as per usual. Stephanie Griffith and Michael Zakaria as well. Big up to you. Ivo Bosic, no one in this team should ever be unsaleable. And let me just go to Ivo's here. Like, no one in this team should ever be unsellable. I didn't agree with Mainoo, Garnacho, Hojlund have been named as not for sake. But put the fear in God and then in place for their place here in the club. Listen, at the end of the day, I do understand what you're saying there, Ivo, but these are youngsters. These are the future. I've been saying that for quite a while. Ever since January, the Manchester United are building a new team. It's a generational makeshift. And this is what we're seeing now, like bearing fruits. So big up M&M's chocolate. If you were an M&M, Mark, what would you be? Like, would you be peanut or...
I would be the peanut, probably.
Oh yeah.
You know,
which color?
Big up. Yellow. I think I'd be the yellow one. Yeah.
Oh, green is my favorite color. Like this. Stone Roses. Big up Twulan Bapiri. The George Best is in the house as well. Number one MILF Hunter, the funny name. Oh God, what a name. Number one MILF Hunter. What are you saying here? And Mags Hannon as well. If we keep Mr. Erik Ten Hag, we have to do better next year. In my heart, Mr. Erik Ten Hag is a good manager. Please give this manager a chance one more time. So big up Mags Hannon for contribution as well. And number one MILF Hunter saying, Evo, wrong rules were very player status. Cantona had a different rules for him. So did Ronaldo. Yeah, they did get exceptions, but why? They actually performed, right? It's logical also what you continue to say, that those three off limits, whether you agree or not, same as Rashford, only being sold for a substantial fee. It's ludicrous on Rashford, but I understand it. Mark, listen, at the end of the day, guys, I want to play Mr. Nuradin's rant yesterday. It was absolutely spot on. Mark, you were moderating, I think, as well, before we continue. But after that, what we're going to do is we're going to do the exercise in terms of, you know, how much money can you actually generating into the fire sale? That includes the player wages and the potential structure fee as well, what you're going to sell them for, the market value. Mark will also look at the potential transfer market, and we're going to talk about the latest. So stick around for that regarding the striker targets, midfield, and left backs, centre backs, and all that stuff. So stick around for this to the end of the video, please. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Mark, at the end of the day, I was thinking to myself yesterday, it's unrealistic to go public to say we are 90% selling our squad. That kind of is the wrong way to do it. You know why? because that's kind of limits your playing hand. Now all of a sudden everyone knows that United is looking to offload certain players, and now we can press them a little bit because they're desperate to sell. Usually these things happens behind closed doors, where representatives of United and agents go speak to other clubs and say, these are the players that we are looking to sell, are you interested? Right? So for the media to come out to say 90%, this is a little bit unrealistic for me.
I mean, it was always going to be a little bit unrealistic from the media's perspective. I mean, they are here to sell news, so they need some shocking, whether it's a headline or not, to make people want to read, to get their curiosity intrinsic. So in my opinion, I feel like, it's more going to be like maybe, let's say 8, 7, 8, somewhere around there if we're lucky. If we're really, really lucky, we could get to 12. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's up in the air.
It's going to be a massive window, and we're going to uncover this in the spreadsheet later on. So you will have an eye opener, people who's tuning in as well. The Voganator, big up, man. Spot on,
Big
Mark,
up,
what
bro.
he's saying.
How
as
you
well.
doing, man?
We're doing good. Good. And what else do we have here? Sadiq is also here. We have to remove 8 to 10 players. He's kind of agree what we're saying. So we're going to look at who can be removed and how much money we're actually going to be saving. You'd be surprised. It's actually more than 300 million. Whoops,
Yeah, I got to that factor as well. I got somewhere in the region of 330.
Yep. Abdul, what you're saying here, how can you keep this poor manager? It's not up to us, Abdul, to be honest. We're just fans, right? I
mean,
that's realistic. It's what the new establishment wants to do. I understand that we are not the finished article. I understand that the football has been poor. I understand everything, that we had 65 types of injuries. But aren't you a little bit curious, deep down in your Manchester United heart, to say that what if you finally got a new structure that we didn't have before, and proper clear out and some backing in the summer, and see how it goes? At the end of the day, what's going to hurt you? The manager has 1 year left on his contract. And if that doesn't work, I'm sure they have something aligned in 2025.
I mean, also, it's a rebuild, guys. You know what I mean? I understand that we have standards as a club, but in a rebuild, also when you're changing style of play, and you still have to, bring players in the club, because some players may not be able to adjust or evolve to the new tactics. It's going to be long. It's not going to be one of us a season where we're competing for the top. So
yeah,
it's one of those
There's
things.
been a lot of discussion regarding Ross Barkley on a free, and I don't know. He's zero pressure on Luton. He's doing great. I mean, at the end of the day, we need a big squad, rotational players. That's what we need. And do you think Ross Barkley can do a job at United?
No, I'd probably give that opportunity to Dan Gore Jr. I won't even waste the time. Because then what if his legs go next season? I mean, he is 30 after all. You never know.
Yeah. Luman, what you're saying here, all the dream talks and lovely stories only helping INEOS and football fans channels in keeping the fans busy with sweet lollipop in their mouths. Bro, Luman, that's a big statement. Can you please explain? Listen, at the end of the day, we're just reporting on what's been out there on the news, to be honest, and we are a fan community channel. So what else, 100%. So welcome. Listen, I'm just going to get into the stories here. So basically, big up for all of you, the Voganator, Casemiro, Rashford, Varane, Eriksen, Martial, Aaron, Bissaka, Shaw, McTominay need to be replaced as soon as possible. Yeah, let's get into that in a few minutes. But if you don't mind, I want to play, it's about 9 minutes from yesterday's Jarvis Cocker Corner. What a brilliant podcast. Did you watch it? It was 2 hours and 16 minutes. Didn't really feel like it.
Yeah, it didn't actually, but it was interesting. I enjoyed it, to be fair. I had some oppositions and in some of the things we're saying, but everyone has their opinions, and we're enjoying the conversation.
I mean, we do collaborate with the Manchester United Real Therapy, Mr. Nuradin, Mr. Structure, and Love him to pieces. And yesterday spoke a lot of sense. I mean, at the end of the day, you choose if you want to be out or in. And if you're out, we totally understand, right? But this yesterday, I wanted to add this to the stage, Mark, because this speaks a lot of volumes. Let's go.
How quickly Manchester United move players on. I will literally this summer spend some of the transfer money on getting rid of buying out people's contracts. Brown enveloping agents, I don't care. Because for me, Glazenomics stands because Manchester United are a publicly listed company. So on the books, the way it looks, so if it's they were going to get rid of Maguire or Anthony, it would look bad in their books unless they both see out their contracts. And this is how we've been operating. So for me, the whole thing with INEOS, I'm definitely the chairman of Wait and See FC, because I don't care what you've done at Man City. I don't care what you've done here or there. I'm only interested if you're a player coming to Manchester United, what you can do for my club. As a director, what you can do for my club, not what you've done somewhere else. I don't give a damn what you've done other places. I want to know what you can do here for me. So that'll be the first and biggest test, and I'll be over the moon like majority United fans, because that will mean the death of Glazenomics. It would literally mean Manchester United being able to shift, because we don't operate. And I used to tell people, Manchester United do not operate like a normal football club. You see the players, we either give them a contract because it's easier to renew a contract with a player that you've already had there than to buy in a new player and to get 100%. Rid of that player. And this is what we have to do. So for me, a lot more bigger players have to go. Bigger players have to go. But like I said, for me, I've got sick and tired going to the stadium and seeing Ten Hag made the same mistakes again and again and again. Midfield wide open again and again and again. And him not doing anything about it. And I'm thinking that my eyes are lying to me. Now, if they're going to give him another year, then clean house. Because they have to clean house.
100%.
If you're going to, even if it's not him or whatever the next manager, you have to clean house for me. Because there are players who've absolutely took the piss this season, who continue to take the piss, who have zero discipline about them, what it means to wear the Manchester United shirt, what it means to represent, what it means to have this incredible fan base and the size of the football club as we are. They don't deserve that. They don't deserve to be there. They've literally done nothing at this football club.
Nuradin, can I just ask on that then? Sorry, mate, because obviously there's a lot of names being thrown about all the time, but with those sort of last few criteria that you've given about work, playing for the shirt, giving your all, giving everything you can, does that include Maguire and McTominay? To me, I think they've been great this season in terms of what they've done when they came away from the press. The rumours, like everyone's saying, you skate. Why did you not go to West Ham? Why did you not take the money? Why did you not let us move on? Sort of thing. And to me, they've been two of our most consistent players this season. They've made mistakes, and they're not the greatest players on the planet. But from based on what you said about,
So fundamentally, like they're not good enough for Manchester United level. And if this football club was a football club, and the size of the football club it is, and it was run correctly, Scott McTominay would have been moved on a long time ago. Not that because he's not a trier, not that because he's not a great professional, not that unless you knew a specific coach that could get the best out of him. And I think you could use Scott in a certain way off the bench, and because he's quiet, he finds space in the box. But I'm sorry, I'm not just having that. And Harry Maguire, I said it to Jarvis, I said since he's come back, since he's actually had the stay, and since the last time he got injured, since he's been back, I've noticed certain level of aggressiveness when I'm in the stadium watching him. Literally, he used to back up and be scared. Now he goes in. So he's improved in terms of the level of aggression that he plays with. Before, he would think, ooh, I'm going to get caught here. No, he's willing to take the man or the ball. That was always the big thing about him. And the fact that he couldn't, where he earned his money, he always used to not manage that 6-yard area. Any ball around his feet, he used to struggle with that. But now I see him with the way he's aggressive. He's reading it and clearing the ball. You know what I mean? Hitting the ball. So 100%, he has improved. But do I think fundamentally, the way modern football is, that he's good enough for Manchester United to want to squeeze the game, to go up the pitch? No, he's not good enough. But I agree with you. In terms of commitment from me, Harry Maguire is the guy who's got his head down, and he can only have what is, you know what I mean, the team the way he is. He improved his level of how aggressive to be. to play it, and I've seen it. When you see it in this, you actually hear the tackle sometimes. He crunches people. He used to physically be dominant, you know, in the air. He used to be very physical and dominant in the air. But now he's actually getting to the ball first and not waiting around. So 100% all credit to him. And I try to be objective. Same thing with McTominay. I'm so happy, by the way, tonight he said that he's not injured, because I thought that, I was saying to you, Jarvis, I was like, that would hurt me, because he took Scotland to the Euros. His goals have took them. So the idea of him missing the Euros would be an absolute travesty. So I'm so glad it's come out on Instagram tonight, and he's basically said he's overstretched. The same thing that he did the first time he got injured. He did the same thing again. But that means he's not stable enough. He's not. They've not given him enough rehab to stabilize his knee. He's overstretched again. And there's a weakness now that's there. So he needs to, for me, think about Scotland, because this Manchester United team ain't going anywhere anytime soon, unfortunately. But yeah, Rashford has to go for me. Bruno has to go because he's indisciplined. And I'm not having a player to play every minute, even when he's injured, when he's hobbling around, where he can never be subbed. I'm not having that. There is certain things I'm not having at this football club, where you've got players like Bruno, who runs like a headless chicken, runs about the football pitch, plays when he wants, wherever he wants. I'm not having that. So for me, they're the two that you could get decent money for. Rashford has to go. I think for his own career, he needs to change. So those big players have to go. And depending on whether you're sticking or twisting with this, for me, I would try to get rid of the people that are one-dimensional, only to play the certain way, counter-attack, and get players in who actually can play modern way of football, can actually hold the ball, can hold possession, don't like treat the ball like a hot potato.
100%.
And Eric Ten Hag, for me, he's lost me, even though Jarvis will tell you, I wanted him like no other manager I've ever wanted at Manchester United. He's let me down. And I'm not just jumping on the bandwagon. Jarvis will tell you, I was calling out this 3-6-1, emptying out the midfield single pivot from January last season. And I was like, this is not sustainable.
Yeah, so, but Nuradin, we spoke a little bit about the 3-1-6, and we actually looked better against Burnley because we played with more control. It was when we were starting to hitting it long, there was a big gap, and the game was.
But Jarvis is half an hour. It's half an hour. We can't do it for half an hour.
It's more than we have seen for the whole season.
Yeah, we can't. Football now is 100 minutes. I can't go to Old Trafford and think my eyes are lying to me. Yeah. And just because we don't have Shaw and Martinez, then something's going to change. No, it's not going to change. Because you're still going to play that single pivot, and you're going to vacate the midfield, and everybody's going to run. Everybody's up the pitch. And to recover, no, you need to close the gaps. And there isn't enough. Obviously, the only thing that I will give him the benefit of the doubt is that if players are not doing what he's asked for, he hasn't got the bench to be able to take them off and to put other players on. That's the only thing that I'm like, would he be able to do that? But I can't watch what I'm watching. It's just, honestly, when you're in the stadium, you're just like, what the hell am I watching? And you know what? I've not played at any great level. I'll play Sunday or Saturday. But I know when my manager used to go, midfield, get back. I knew. Get in position. Positioning was important. Positioning was important. Don't chase the ball up there. Stay in position. The idea of positioning is so important in a football match. You have to hold your position. You can't go and make up as you go along. And that's the biggest reason. But if it's going to stay, then they need to get rid of certain players who cannot fit the way he wants to play. And they have to get him athletes who can actually have the physicality, that can play one-on-one, can actually win their duels. We can do it. They can do it for half an hour. We showed it against Liverpool. Liverpool bullied Man City, right? Literally ran, and Pep Guardiola had to take off De Bruyne, and then they came to Old Trafford for the first, 35 minutes. They couldn't get out. We did what they usually do to teams. We were doing what they were doing to City, but you can't do it for half an hour. You can't.
And absolutely facts. You can't do it for half an hour. And let me know in the comments section what you think. I think Nuradin was spot on when he spoke the facts. Where did you go, Mark? Are you still there? Oh no, he just vanished and disappeared. It's just me here. But I'm talking to you in the VR room. And if you're watching this video in retrospective, you know, do you think Nuradin was spot on here? If we keep in Ten Hag, that means that we have to, you know, oversee the Glazenomics. And Glazenomics, as we know it, have rather kept players because of the commercial value rather than undermining the manager just to keep them. But Nuradin was also spot on by saying that if Ten Hag is staying here, then we need to look at certain players that could actually be athletics, good mentality, can run up and down the field, and good ballers at the end of the day. There's a reason also why Mason Mount was recruited. Apparently what they're saying, the rumors are that he's very quick to understand what the manager is saying and applying that on the field. Like if the manager is giving you instructions, Mark, to say, go, stay put here, hold your position, don't run offline, track this number 7 player here and there. Mason Mount apparently does that. But a lot of players here in this squad, their mental ability just goes haywire. The emotions takes over and they totally lose it, right? So what's your initial thought what Nuradin was saying here in this clip from yesterday?
Well, I felt like that since last season, to be honest. I felt this was something we should have been doing. Like I was one of those fans that after the 21-22 season, I wanted Rashford gone, Luke Shaw gone. I wanted a lot of those players, Harry Maguire gone, Scott McTominay gone, you know, Lindelof gone. But they ended up staying with other players. And some of the performances have not been great again. I mean, they did well last season. I mean, I feel like this always happens with managers in their first season with some of these players. And then coming down this season when you need them to show up like they showed up last season, some of them are injured and unavailable and others are there, but they're not performing well. So I agree with him what he's saying. You need to back the manager if he's staying, or whether or not a new manager is coming, you still need to clear house because some of these players, they don't give the basic effort. And some people might compare us to like a team where like Crystal Palace has been performing really well lately under Oliver Glasner, but at the same time, you have to look at the squad that they have and the squad that we have. We have seen our players capitulate and give up during games since 21-22. Most of them are still here.
It's half glass full. You know, every manager's been here in this position, got undermined. They say, I want to get rid of that player. He got undermined. You know what I mean? So that's why I was saying with the opening statement, you know, with the 90 days review, we don't know what's going on as of yet, but there's indications that they are doing it. Wilcox is talking to Ten Hag, apparently, to say they've identified the players that they want to get rid of that doesn't really fit the way they want to play, right? So therefore, I believe that the fire sale is going to happen. And this is the only way if you're going to turn the page to be ruthless. You know, I don't care if you're Rashford FC or Martial FC or whatever you are, you got to look at what is best for the squad. Because for 11 years, we haven't been able to compete because due no structure, due no backing of the manager and the Glazers, to be honest. Now, Glazenomics, will they defeated? This is what Nuradin was talking about. Anyway, big up Red Devils TV as well. Big up for you coming in here as well. The manager failing out with real ballers. He loved only runners. 50 million for Mount, 80 million for Anthony, 72 million for Hojlund. Bro, we got finessed. That's the thing. It wasn't the manager. It was John Murtagh that was actually doing all this. And, you know, I told this story so many times. In that middle of the transfer window when Ten Hag came in, John Murtagh went on a 3 weeks holiday in the middle of a fucking transfer window. Sorry for saying that. So who does that, right? So he came back 2 weeks to the end of the transfer window, started to panic. And this is where we actually start overpaying. Anthony Dos Santos has 20,000 K per week at Ajax, right? How the hell did he end up getting 200 K per week and a transfer fee of 95 million? That is just because at the end of the day, when you're coming 2 weeks down to the overall transfer window left before it shuts, you get your pants pulled down. But if you do your business early, that's it. So it's not Ten Hag that's done the business. It's been like, you know, past incompetence people that's been A, not been able to negotiate, A, B, not being able to sell anything, or three, they've been giving ridiculous wages, which we're going to cover right here, right now, which makes it almost impossible to sell. So and that's it, like, you know. And I got a question for Red G, like, you know, how can I be so happy before a game? Or wait a minute, what was that? I started. It was Dark Crow to say that. I'm gonna answer, Mr. Ruby. Before every match, you're so excited for a win, but that you forget all the past results and shown all the logic need to determine whether the win is really possible, mate. True in a way, but you are, as a fan, you get hurt by a loss, but as closer you get to the game, the more excited you are. That's called being a football fan, isn't it? And you believe that you can actually win a game, right? Call it delusion, call it what else, but you got to believe, right? You got to believe that win. So what's the purpose of supporting this club or being a football player, you know, before even having a kick and thinking you're going to lose? So it's all about positive thinking. We all cope differently, but yeah, you know, but at the end of the day, now I'm coming to that season when I'm getting tired and I just want to see this season out and potentially getting a little bit giddy of the FA Cup. Mark, we've got to move on to the show as well. Guys, we're coming to the show what we promised. Like, okay, let's have a look at the overall, you know, potentials. I've done this Excel spreadsheets based on the players that are on a very high wage bill and the ones that were mentioned. I don't think that we are going to sell Harry Maguire at the end of the day. What do you think, Mark? I think they're going to keep him as a third choice centre back. Experience.
Yeah, I didn't have him on my list because I also think he might actually. I do have him on my list as well, actually, but I do think it might be a possibility if Varane Lindelof goes in the summer.
So I'm gonna explain what I've done here. So in this column, this is the annual salary what these players are earning. In the column here in the middle is the market value according to Transfermarkt, right? Here in the sell column is what we think we're going to sell them for. And at the end of the day, the fund raised, you get a total value what you're going to raise. And that, unrealistically, what I put in here almost reached 500 million. And that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
We know that our wage base is crazy. Harry Maguire is currently an 18,200,000. You know, his market value is 35. I don't think they're going to sell him. Like, you need still a little bit of an experience, Mark. So would you sell or keep?
If I know we're signing 2 or 3 center backs, I would sell him.
We are apparently. Yeah, okay.
I would sell him then.
So what would be the value you sell him for? 20 million, 30 million?
35 million, I think, plus add-ons we'll get easy based on his performance this season.
Okay, so I change this to 35 then. All right, cool. Done to 35. Okay, you see how the increased potential sale is here. Okay, Tom Heaton is going for free anyway, but he's still on, like, you know, 2,340,000 a year. So that's another wage bill off. Victor Lindelof, 100% he's got to go. He's going to be sold. What do you reckon? You're on mute.
I think we have the same thinking because I did also put 18 million for Victor Lindelof. I think 18 to 25 or something like that I put for him. So that's probable. You know, he could probably get that. So yeah, let's say 18 and we'll go with Iceman.
18, yeah, fine. Rafael Varane, can you take care of the VR room while I'm doing this? Because I got my hands full of this spreadsheet as well. Rafael Varane, apparently 1 year left on his contract, I think, but, you know, they're willing to let him go for free. Mate,
yeah, I'd
you reckon we can retract the money or 25 million? 20?
Probably if Saudi comes in at the end of the season and he signs, if we get him to sell him before the end of the season to Saudi or something, that might work. If he leaves on a free, I'm not going to be too mad because at the end of the day, it still clears the wage bill. You know, the exciting one for me in that figure is Luke Shaw, which I think we might probably be able to get somewhere in the region of a 45 million for, because I think he's a very good left.
Yeah, Varane is in a high wage bill at the end of the day. So listen, 25 million, there's still a player in him, right? So listen, that's his market value. So would you sell him for 25 million pound or would you just take 20?
Who's that?
I mean, what?
Who's that? Luke Shaw?
No, Varane.
I don't think we could get money unless we extend Varane's contract. So I think he's leaving on a free.
On a free. So yeah, zero here.
Yeah, that's going to be zero there for Varane. Unless we get him to sign an extension. I mean, well, we have to sign an extension first Because doesn't his contract run out this summer?
So I leave it with you then. So 0 for Varane.
Yeah, 0 for Varane, in my opinion.
Okay, 0. I put 0, so that changes the value totally.
Oh.
Luke Shaw is another player. Well, listen, he's got 1 year left on his contract, Varane. So if Saudi comes in,
then you could get 25 from Saudi.
You already played your card, so let's move to Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw for me is another player that needs to go, based on his injury-prone records. Like
100%.
This guy's been injured more than Glassman, Martial at the moment. When he's fit, he's playing either for his contract, but when he's fit, he's really, really good. But we are not here for sentiments. We look at the availability of the player. Do you reckon he will be safe or will he be sold? His current market value is 38 million pounds.
Yeah.
He's currently earning 7,800,000 annual salary. Do you reckon you can get 25 for him?
I reckon we could get 40. I think Luke Shaw, he's going to have that Shaw Berto Carlos tax. He's going to have that England tax. He starts for England if he's fit. Yeah, I think we could get 40 for him in the least. I wouldn't be too far-fetched to get 40 for Luke Shaw.
Yep. I think I might have made a mistake here. Harry Maguire. It's actually not Harry Maguire's salary that you see on top. It's actually Rafael Varane's salary. It's 18,200,000. I made a mistake there. Harry Maguire almost makes the. I made a mistake. Sorry, but it's even panned out. Like the numbers pans out. So sorry, my mistake. So you reckon you can get more for Luke Shaw, like 40 million, 35 potentially?
Yeah, I say 40. I say 35, 40. You could get for Luke Shaw easy.
35, I think, mate. 35. I put 35. Right. So Donny van de Beek is another one that has been very, very unlucky. I feel sorry for Donny van de Beek. Current market value, man. We bought him for 35 million or 30 million, something like that. And he never got played. Ollie didn't want him. It was a club signing. Market value has plummeted to 9 million pounds, my friend. He's having a salary of 6.2 million, mate.
9 or 10 million, we get 9, anywhere between 9 and 15. Sell him, let him go.
Okay, I stick with twist. I put 9 there, mate.
Yeah, let's stick there at 9 and let him go.
Okay, Brandon Williams, done deal. He's out on loan. His market value is 5 million. You sell him for 5, right?
Yeah,
he's on 3 million a year.
For 5, I sell him for 5. Yeah, we can do that.
Wan-Bissaka is one of the price values you can sell. Homegrown talent. We know we are linked to different wingback / Frimpong, whatever ex-City player that's now playing for, Eintracht. No, what is it? Leverkusen. Leverkusen won the league, and he's got a release clause on 35 million, mate. Wan-Bissaka could be a swap deal. It could go back to Crystal Palace for lease or something like that. So his current market value sits on 20 million, according to Transfermarkt. He's earning 4.6 million a year. And would you sell him for 25 million or 20?
I reckon we get like 30 for Wan-Bissaka. I think he's performed.
Yeah, he's super good
in the games. He's a good tackler. He has some good attributes, So, and his recent form prowess going forward, 30 million. I'd add 5
I agree.
value.
Sold for 30 million. Casemiro, 2 years left on his contracts. He's got 18,200,000. And I think he's the top earner there with Varane as well. Market value currently is on 30 million. You still reckon you can get something 20 to 30 for Cass?
20, I'd say we could break even at a 20, 25, anywhere between there. Sell him. Let's go.
Be realistic.
20 million. Let's keep it moving. If that's his market value, then we at least we'll get 20. That's not bad.
Scotty McDoy is on 60k a week. That's a cheap squad player. We spoke about Scotty Mac. Nuradin spoke. His market value is on 28 million. Could you get 35 million for it? Will you keep or sell? Will you keep? It's like Nuradin. No sentiment. He's done great. Him and Maguire.
Sell him. I mean, all right, okay. I'm saying sell him because if I keep the energy I had up to 2020, 21, 22 season, then sell him for sure. If I think about this year, then I might say,
but he's got 1 year left on his contract. He's got 1 year left.
Let him go. We can get more money. We can get at least 30 million for him from West Ham or something, or maybe another club coming up, maybe even a Leicester. You know, you can
Yeah,
get a
last
30
year they were
mil.
looking for 30 million. So okay, let's be realistic. We can ask 30 million for him, right? Bruno Fernandes is out of the table apparently, but still, market value is currently on 70. He's not as he's one of the top earners as well, but not the top earners. He's earning
100
12
million,
million.
bro.
100 million, yeah.
Yeah. Because
But would
I'm
you sell
telling
him
men
though?
them
Do you,
now.
do you really, realistically, do you think the club gonna sell him, or they think they're gonna build around him and Kobbie Mainoo?
I could tell you for free. If he's up for sale, Madrid and City are fighting.
Yeah. We pre-general saying, but I heard Rabiot is coming for free. Well,
That's the
depends
guy.
on. I mean, number one, MILF Hunter, you got to do a job there. You're going to travel to wherever she's living, Veronica Rabiot, and do a job there. Number one,
Yeah,
MILF
hop
Hunter.
down to Juventus, to Turin, and put in some work for the team, buddy.
But the question is, he probably wants 250K a week, like, bumper contract, right? Even if it comes for free, there will be a sign-on bonus, 100%, and some higher wages. But we're going to look at that later on, like save it to the latest, because you're going to see how much money you're going to save and basically how much wages. And then based on that, you can actually go and recruit. This is a normal practice. I don't think we're selling Fernandes whatsoever. So there's not even point putting in there. There's not even been a...
Yeah, just leave him out, because I don't think he's for sale.
Anthony, I think...
Well, go ahead, because I was going to say on the Anthony thing, I think he's going to get one more year based on the fact of what happened this season. I think the club, even Sir Dales Brailford, is going to say, this guy had that whole mental issue with the accusations this season. He would have been thrown off by that. Give him a season. Let's see if he can do well. If not, by the winter, move him on.
So, and nobody really knows if they're going to move him on or not. But, fucking hell, market value now 35. We should never have paid that money. And we gave him a 200K a week, which is 10,400,000 a year. And if you could sell him, you will lose a lot of money if you sell him for 35. So I don't think they will sell him because of the market value at the moment, right? So they'll probably keep him and see, play your value up, and we can sell you after.
100%.
So keep or sell, remove him or not remove.
I would not put him up for sale based on what happened this season. If this season
he had but what do you think that they are going to do?
I think they're going to give him one more year. I think even though no one's safe, I think he could.
But what would you then? Listen to me. What would you put the value? Not as a fan.
Oh, on the value, yeah, you probably at best you get like 30 mil, 40 mil, somewhere between
35, 40. That's a lot of loss.
Yeah,
his value is 35. So if you can sell him for what, 45?
If you can get that, man. I mean, the funny bit is that we should have never paid 90. We should have got him in June and paid 35, 40 at max.
Okay, let's just play that he is on the chopping block, because nobody's safe. 45 million is what you think.
That's half. You break 45. Even. You lose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sancho is the one that's never going to come back, 100%. Dortmund is very keen to keep him. There's a Champions League clause that just kicked in. That affected the loan bid, because if they qualified in deep into Champions League, that triggers another release clause and another bonus material, which is another 3 million. Now there have been reports saying that they want to keep him, but it all depends on if they qualify into the Champions League. Now 5th place currently goes to Germany in qualifying, and Sancho wants to stay. But it's not only Sancho. Like, you can look at Bayern Munich, you can look at Real Madrid, Italian league, and stuff like that. So club definitely wants to sell him. He wants not to be part. It's been said he only wants to come back to United if Ten Hag is not there. But the issue with that is play power win.
I think even if Dortmund doesn't go in for him, I think Juventus will be in for him. He fits what they want.
25 million, but I put 50 million, mate.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't take less than 40, but I definitely think we should be shooting for around 50.
We should be bolstering ourselves. We're Manchester United of the new, not the old. Like, this is no longer John Murta here, or what's it called? This useless, couldn't even sell players. They were selling them for peanuts. 100%. Rashford is another interesting one, guys. We're coming to the end, because Martial at the end of the day is leaving for free anyway, so he's absolutely gone. Christian Eriksen is also leaving for free, so I didn't put him in here. And by the way, Eriksen's wages is quite ridiculous. I think it's 200K a week or something as well.
You should have Hannibal Mejbri in that list as well.
Yeah, I couldn't fit everything. Hannibal Mejbri has very little impact at the end of the day, right? So I want to focus on Martial here. 13 million a year, market value 15. He's going for free. Boom. But Marcus Rashford, you could sell him for what? 100?
65. 65 plus add-ons.
75.
Yeah. I don't think anyone is going to pay. If you rather...
Listen to me now. Greenwood I didn't put here because of some reason, because we don't know what's going on here. Stay or go. So therefore I didn't put in, because we don't know. It might be so that they sell Rashford and decide to keep Greenwood. Nobody really knows what's going on there, but they need to make a fucking statement very soon. The statement of intent. But you reckon 75 million, is that too low? Because internationally he's a well-known brand, man, right?
100%.
Well-known brand. Like if City paid like 100 million for Jack Grealish, surely we can sell him for more. He's got 4 years left on his contract. So anything between 90 million pounds.
I say 65 because you want teams to come to the table. I mean, if you get enough teams coming to the table, you start from there. You start at 65. Yeah,
that's a robbery.
That's not a robbery. I mean, if you were telling me 90 million last season, they'll bite your hand off to take him for 90. But this season, I think he dropped at least 20, 30 million in value in terms of the interest.
I don't agree with you. 65. I say 75 is his fee. Like if they want 75 million pounds for Frankie de Jong, I mean, come on. Rashford, international, scored 30 goals. Come on, had a bad season.
That was last year. Bro.
Very well-known international brand. I think 75 million is the price tag to start with.
I mean, last season, the season before, he had a similar performance, but he was also injured. So I think the sample size is a bit more.
So listen, I forgot Ericsson. Let me see. I don't remember what Ericsson was on. I think it was 200, but he's going for free anyway.
Yeah.
The point of idea of this exercise, Adam or not, Greenwood, is basically an exercise for you to see the wage bill, the FFP or the PSR, whatever you say. I mean, if you get rid of all these players, right, you're saving yourself an annual wage bill of 152,360,000. Do you see the impact it does, right? If you call it a fire sale, plus you add on the sale, what we just agreed on, Mark. Is generating about 352 million. In total, club is raising 504 million, right?
Yeah.
If you just get rid of these players without even getting a fee, you're getting 1.5 million, 150 million off your wage bill. Do you get what I'm saying here, right?
Yeah.
So we can talk about this exercise is an educational purpose for see how it will be impact and where do we go from here. At the end of the day, for me, Mark, I mean, they're going to sort of introduce a lot of youngsters into the squad. That means that they can buy certain players and give them a little bit of a higher wages because you're getting rid of a certain place as well. So realistically speaking, I don't think we're going to totally raise 500 million quid. No way in one summer. But there's a lot of players that are going out there that's going to impact you. Only let's say Casemiro is going to liberate you 18 million, right? If you add on, let's say Casemiro as well and 80 million as well, you're already up there, and plus Martial, which is 13 million. So that is a lot of money. That is one player signing or two players signing. You know what I mean? So this is the point of the exercise. Yeah.
And then if you look at, I'm just gonna say, if you look at a more type of signing that with a creative summer this summer, and you put aside the marquees like Gyökeres for now. Let's say you put him aside for now. You put aside a Frankie de Jong, and let's say you put aside a Lisi or something like that for now, and an Eze.
Yeah.
But then you look at their young players who could come into the squad, even like a Rabiot, even if he's coming on a free at 150, 200K, you can do a pretty good creative summer and get 8-9 players in.
This is all about being out of the box creativity as well. You got to bring in players that's on free, like a Rabiot and stuff like that. But this is telling you guys that's tuning in that money can be generated without even spending one single penny out of INEOS pocket, whoever, because if you sell and get rid of the wage bill, you can generate up to 500 million pounds, right? And based on that, Mark, then you can sort of go, okay, what is the marquee signings? What positions do we want to recruiting? We need 2 center backs. All of a sudden, we have 500 million to spend, which makes it fucking more easier. But the biggest thing in the summer will be the outs. I've been telling you. So, Mark, what do you think at the end of the day, knowing that these are kind of the deadwoods where we kind of look to ship off? What players do you think we can sign? What positions we have? 2 center backs, left back, right, or right back, midfield, and striker.
I'm thinking we should definitely focus on the defensive core as the first priority. We need to get in at least 2 to 3 center backs that can play the way we want to play, and that is high pressing, very good on the ball. You need them to be quick and very physical as well. So I would say, you look at the likes of a Gelson Bremer, that's going to cost us somewhere in the region of a 40 million, give or take, at Juve. You get him in, and maybe at that point you have someone who could come in as a starter to partner Martinez. With that, now you have Kwambala as his backup because we've seen his performances. Maybe
that's if you're saving money, yes.
Yeah, that's if you're saving money. And I think,
but if you want a fast center backs that can cover white spaces, you need athletes, right? Todibo covers it. We are 100% linked to Todibo. 45 million. Would you spend on Todibo as a center back?
I mean, if you're getting Todibo for somewhere in the region of 45, 50 million, I'd take him. I'd take him all day
sick.
because
this guy is sick, man. Seriously,
you want a starter, and in my honest opinion, Willy Kwambala is very, very close to his profile. So if you bring in a Todibo and you have Willy Kwambala backing him up, that's almost a recipe for a sound back line.
But then you need a backup for Martinez as well.
Exactly. So you look at someone like a Goncalo Ignacio from Sporting. The young defender is left-footed. He's very progressive. He has a similar Lobero style vibe as Martinez. He plays the same role exactly for Sporting. So he's coming to do the same thing. He's also left-footed, and he's 6'2", 22 years old.
Yeah, what's the injury with Willie, by the way?
Willie has a small muscle
earlier.
injury.
Muscle injury. Craig Warby. Yes. Big up Craig Warby as well that came in. So there's a lot of work to be done in the summer. Yes, 100%. But they are working behind the scenes already. That's what I wanted to say. Jarvis Cocker is coming in to say right back. Midfield striker is first priority.
I mean, you're talking about the report that came out that Slow Sports News, Jarvis. Everybody knows we need a striker, midfield, and a right back.
Yeah. But anyway, we need to sort out the defense first. So we're starting off with the centre-back situation. 2 centre-backs, you got money to burn. Todibo, 45 million. The Everton young striker doesn't have legs for me. 75 million for Darren. What was his name? Braithwaite?
Brantwaite. No, I would stay clear of Brantwaite for now. I mean, I think there's too much hype. I'd wait to see if Everton is drowning and then maybe try to swoop in, because then we maybe could force their hand to get him for somewhere like 50. I've seen him destroyed over the last few weeks, but he had a great performance against Liverpool, so power to him.
I wouldn't do that. We've been linked to a lot of centre backs, but I think that we're not going to pay. We might pay 45 million for one experienced one, like a Todibo, and something cheaper, like 20 million, or recruit one of the youngsters. Well, we have one under 18s that captain. What's his name?
Jack Kingdom.
Kingdom.
Yeah, he's very good. He's very good. And I mean, there's also the option of Ansel Mino, who would probably be something like 12 million. And that's like cake money. But he's very young, 17. Is going to take some time to develop as well.
But Bremer is 26, 27, adding on more experience. And I believe what Manchester 7 is saying, he's very quick, explosive. He's a like for Varane, I would say. But you get a younger version of Varane.
I think he's a bit of Martinez as well. He has that kind of like he's that beast mode because he's physical and very.
We've been linking him forever, so there's certainly legs in it, and they're looking at him you know what I mean.
100%.
So, and we're also looking at that Argentinian
Ansel Mino
as well. But
like,
Anselmino will be more to buy him in and loan him out for Nice.
Let him develop and come back in. And you know, like as you mentioned that, you know, there's also the left back we have. It's been reported that he was told to go out there and gain the experience, use to make it the best of it, and come back to compete for a role. So my next step would be to get rid of Luke Shaw and bring Alvaro back, as well as look for a probably tidy replacement
as well,
with a little bit more experience. You know.
Yeah. And give Harry Amas a chance there as well.
Yeah, I mean Harry Amas, and then there's the we're gonna have enough, because as you know, the youngster that we have, Malacia, even if he's fit, he also plays off the right, so it's not gonna be a big problem if we have three other left backs beside him.
Yep. Hold your thoughts, people. There's one thing we need you to do 100%. Do this. Give us a like to this video. Let's continue. If you haven't subscribed yet, do so as well. Mark, let's continue. We have spent about approximately, let's say, on centre backs, 40 million plus. I mean, sensible thing. If you're going to go for Brentwaite, 75 million, for that price, you get 2 centre backs. So that's problem solved, right? We go on the Frimpong side. That one has legs. Frimpong used to live in Manchester. He wants to come back. Release clause 35 million. We're going to sell Van Bissaka apparently. So you will have Degodalo with Frimpong. 2 different options, right? 100%. We need pace, athletics. Frimpong runs up and down quick as hell, like Speedy Gonzalez. Like, he's very good on the ball. I go for Frimpong for 35 million. Problem solved. Left back. We talked about left back 100%. We are looking for a young left back for 20-25 million. Boom. But I want to move into the midfield because there's a lot of options there. Onana, Everton doesn't really convince me. You have this Mats Wafer. Mats Wafer is a beast.
João Gomez, the young Brazilian. I think he comes in and he brings the profile of a young Casemiro that hasn't won titles yet. That's what we need.
Yeah, yesterday I agree with Jarvis and everyone was saying in the panel. There's one number 6 I will go all in Premier League proven, Fulham's Palhinha. That is a monster of a specimen, right?
I like Palhinha. I like him. I think he's very, very good. He's the definition of a destroyer and a ball protector in the midfield. So I think.
Do you remember what they wanted him for? They wanted to buy him. He flew out to do a medical and they retracted it. What was the price? Was it 35, 40?
70.
70. The price must have gone down. Would you go for Palhinha?
If we're paying 70 million. If we're paying like 50, maybe I would. 60, yeah, I'd take maybe 50, 60, somewhere there in between there. Yeah, I would go for him. But
Frimpong
the way
is
I was
overhyped.
looking,
No, Frimpong is not overhyped. No,
Mikel, you don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. But this guy, Frimpong, is better than Wan-Bissaka. 100% better than Wan-Bissaka.
But depends on what you want to do. Like if you look at Ajax, I keep saying that when you look at Ajax, the way you used to play under Ten Hag, you used to have a wing back that was constantly bombing forward, up and down, and the other one was more reserved, tucking in as well, like providing as a shield, as a defensive shield. So you have one more attacking and one less attacking. Frimpong offers you both. All right, he's very good at going forward, very good at tracking back. Defensively, so. Like Wan-Bissaka, on the other hand, very good on one versus one defending. Not so good at going forward. It's an upgrade. Depends if you're going to play attacking style football, meaning you're going to play with 6 pressing and wing backs running full speed, overlapping with Garnacho, Ahmad, whatever it might be. So this is what I see. I mean, Dalot is starting to develop. Dalot is the most improved player this season, I would say. You see a lot of. He's still young. Dalot. He's like 22 years of age, still a lot of development, but you can see how much he's developing and become a better player. He's very professional. He takes instructions on board. He eats well. He sleeps well. He trains like an athlete, and he takes care of himself. Seldom injured as well.
Yeah.
Palhinha is 30. I know.
Palhinha is 29. Listen, Palhinha is 29, but it's not like you're going by Ross Barkley. You understand? I understand Jarvis and them talking about Ross Barkley, but let's be real, it's Ross Barkley. If we go in and get Palhinha, there's no need to consider Ross Barkley. Paulinho is 29. He's a better player, and he's going to do what we need him to do. You know, you get someone like a Joao Gomez next to that, a youngster who could learn and come in as a substitute, and you have the best of both worlds, and he's not going to be pricey.
What about Mats Wafer? You know, he can do it all. Have the attributes. We're looking for a physical in the mid. Mats Wafer is what? Mats Wafer from German Bundesliga.
Mats Wafer. Oh, okay. I know you're talking about now. Yeah, I mean, I think he's decent.
that delivery, that ball, that foot, this guy is really, really good, and he's available in the summer as well.
Yeah, Wafer. That's his name. Yeah, it's Wafer. It's Wafer.
Wafer. Alles gut in Deutsch gesprochen. Wafer.
Yeah.
Woofer. Subwoofer. Okay.
Yeah.
Subwoofer.
So for me, I mean, yeah, why not? You know, I mean, like we could explore some options there. I think the ideal thing to do is to get player in profile, but you know, get one experience and one young. So that's why I said two center midfielders. You know, one who could come in and play now, and one who could come and understudy and fill the role.
Listen, Walter, Jarvis will love you for mentioning this name, Anthony Nusa.
1 second.
This is
be right back.
This is Jarvis's favorite player. Jarvis has been talking about Anthony Nusa for ages. Massive talent, future Ballon d'Or winner, 100%. I don't really know where he's going, but definitely there's one to keep up for. So at the end of the day, like Ross Barkley, Rabiot on a free, we're talking about what Paulinho for Amrabat, Eriksson and Casemiro would give squad depth in our midfield. And that's what we're looking for. We got to be box clever here as well. Not everything you're going to pay for, but some certain players will be available for the free, like a Ross Barkley, a Rabiot that can do a job, right? And replace Paulinho from Amrabat adds a little bit more of experience. He's 29, but we need a little bit of a leaders on the pitch. You know, a Paulinho as a number 6 instantly gives you a little bit of like a little bit of a energy. You know what I mean? And you can start playing like Kobbie Mainoo up front of him, Mason Mount instead of Bruno. Give Bruno a little bit of rest. Play Mason Mount as the number 10. Rotate. But if you're going to play a single pivot or a double pivot, Paulinho is the man. Or Mats Wafer, 100%. I don't know what happened to Mark. He just had to go somewhere. Let's go to the comment. Ivo Amas is be a good year too. You're talking about Harry Amas. That young left back is amazing. So what I see here is evidently they are introducing a lot of under 18s to the squad, right? The summer preseason tour is going to be very exciting. So there might be an instance what I've been predicting that we're going to introduce a lot of our academy players into the first team and go and buy these athletics, you know, with a good mentality, technical ballers that can play that style, like, you know, because we need players that can sort of run back, track back, retract the ball. Currently, we don't have that. Currently, we lose the ball in the final third, and we don't have nobody that kind of runs back and retracts. Rashford doesn't do it. Garnacho is starting to do it. And Bruno is Bruno. Bruno needs to be a little bit more disciplined. Like, you know, when he plays for Portugal, you see a different type of Bruno. Right now, he needs to be disciplined and positional to say you are playing behind the striker. That is your role. This is your best attributes. To create chances, run behind. You know, Bruno is being Bruno. But you need solid midfielders that can sort of hold on to the ball and don't leave spaces, like, you know. At the end of the day, fast centre-backs, fast, you know, wingers, it's going to work, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, look, we, you know, a lot of people thinking about, you know, we need a deep squad, of course, but look at the fact that we have young players who are out on loan, like Dan Gore Jr. coming back. You know, there's also Hannibal Medjbury, there's also Police Street, you know what I mean? There's also Alvaro coming back from loan, you know, also possibly a Mason Greenwood. So, you know, you have to look at that, and some of the other youngsters who training with the first team, guys like Ogunayi and Collier and, you know, young pressure.
I agree with Jarvis. We need a deep squad because you're probably in for Europa League or Conference League, whatever. But if we're in Conference League, I'd rather play like on our reserve team, all the youngsters on there. Nusa has been also scouted by Spurs, a radar as well, 100%. But Jarvis loved Nusa anyway. So that's about what I'm thinking in terms of midfield, right? We definitely need midfielders, 100%. In terms of striker, this is where I want to come into, guys, as well, because I did a tweet today. I've been constantly reporting on Benjamin Sesko. Keep your eye. And lo and behold, like, his agent is currently doing the rounds, right? There's Arsenal interested in him, there's Chelsea interested in him, and there's Manchester United interested in Benjamin Sesko. 45 million release clause, right? His agent wants what's best for his client, which is the best project. And Chelsea is looking at it. They need a striker. Where they are with Jackson, Jackson gets a lot of chances still, but he can't finish his dinner. But I don't think Chelsea has the money. They are a little bit in financial trouble. Arsenal could be threatening. Arsenal could offer him. So it will be a tight race between Arsenal and United. But his agent is doing rounds. Of course, it's natural. His agent was spotted at the Emirates over the weekend watching the game. And you're going to probably see him watching the game on Monday as well, Crystal Palace. So, it's what agents do. Like, they want what's best for the client. But 45 million, do you see that it might be a bidding war at the end of the day over the 45 million?
I mean, it could possibly end up a bidding war depending on the situation, but I feel like this is just me. For the last few years, I've been following Sesko just like you, just like a lot of United fans. And when I was in Leipzig watching him play a few weeks ago, like, I think he had a good game. And for me, when there were rumors about him coming to United, a lot of the fans were like, yeah, they could see him going there. Because, he probably would want to compete against Hojlund. He's had this rivalry thing he's created for himself with Hojlund, so why not? I think if you look at the stature of the clubs, it's a no-brainer to come to Manchester United over Arsenal or anyone else, because unless it's Real Madrid, because we are like the biggest English team in history. So there would be
but bro, listen. At the end of the day, like, Arsenal is doing great. We are not doing so great, but it's all about the project, about playing time. If you're going to guarantee you're going to get playing time, you're going to rotate with Rasmus, Hojlund, off you go, right? I don't know. I think Arsenal is the biggest threat. Like, I did a tweet. I've been doing a lot of tweets about it, reports, and I just basically say it's true. Basically, United is looking at him, Chelsea as well. So 45 million release clause will be a bidding war as well. Another thing that I want to also bring to the stage is that there is actually one more striker that United has been following. And me being a Swedish person, I can be no more proud than actually Victor Gyökeres from Sporting Lisbon, man. This guy is an absolutely beast. I've been following in the Swedish national team. He scored 60 goals in all competitions. Amazing, right? This season. But there's a crux, right? I wrote a whole article, right? There is a release clause put on 100 million for him, right? But when he left Coventry on 21 million, they want 100 million release clause. But it's said to believe that United is willing to go all in to negotiate for this beast. Have you seen him play?
I've only seen like about 4 games, but to be honest, the only reason I saw him is because I was looking at Giancarlo Ignacio.
Mate,
I think he did do well. I think he did okay. Did really well.
Guys, go check. If you see any, I mean, I've been watching him in the Swedish league. I watch him in the Swedish national team, and the development that he's gone is absolutely phenomenal, right? He's got, like, let's see his stats here. Let's see, I wrote it here somewhere. He has goal involvements in every 67 minutes, right? 40 goals and 16 assists this season. Sorry, I said 60. It was 40 goals and 16 assists across all competition in just 46 games, people, right? That speaks volumes. That speaks volumes. So you know that he's about 26 years of age, 27. But, man, if we are looking for it, this guy is a monster. Right?
No, it's a good age.
He's a type of like Harry Kane. He goes and collects the ball and creates his own chances as well. He's very good at linking. He's very strong. He's a beast. He's a tank, right? So you can have Hojlund and you can have this one, right? Rotate.
At 100 million, I'm skeptical of any player for 100 million right now. 100%.
He's too expensive, I know. But if we all of a sudden have a budget now, if you clear out the deadwoods, you sold a lot of players, you might have 400 to 500 million generated. What is it to say that we've been linked for him for at least since months and months, reported are getting amplified that he's either Benjamin Sesko or Victor Gyökeres. they're
I would
looking at.
choose Sesko. That's just me, and that's also because of ability and price. I think they both have a similar ceiling, in my opinion, similar kind of stature. I think he's a more finished article at the moment, though. Victor Gyökeres is a more finished article, but 100 million. Unless we sign all the critical signings, like the 2 center backs, the 2 midfielders first, and then get Frimpong, then maybe we could go for him and spend 100. But 100 million, that's a lot.
Yeah, listen, we will have to negotiate, or offer something back, like a player or two, to lower down that. At the end of the day, it's all down to what Manchester United wants, right? What is it to say? Like, I know we're not going to sign players that we don't know. Like, we're not going to pay ridiculous money for. But striker is the most attractive, what everyone wants, right? Everyone is chasing Benjamin Sesko. 100 million? No, I wouldn't play 100 million euros, but we should definitely negotiate and look at it. And I believe they are doing that. Hence of the 100%. Reports where I wrote a very long tweet about this, is actually because they are in negotiations. They're talking already, like, how can we meet? Basically, Sporting is saying, okay, give us Victor Lindelof plus another player. We can consider like maybe 60 or 65. You know what I mean? So you got to be box clever here. So just because it says 100 million, that means you can still struck a deal, and the 100 million can be paid in installments, but you also offer an offload players, 2 players off the wage bill. And you add on Gyökeres. And I don't think Gyökeres will be that expensive in salaries either, right?
100%. Oh, but Mick, guys, sorry, I have to apologize, but I have
no
to
worries.
I have Deutsch course, so big up to everyone. Thank you for joining us.
That's okay. We are about to wrap up the stream anyway. Listen, we have gone 15 minutes extra time anyway. So, guys, if you got to go, Mark, I will wrap up the show at the end of the day, and we're going to summarize everything. I think we're going to do watch along later on for the Champions League. I think it's what is it today? It's Bayern versus Real Madrid.
Bayern, yeah. It's gonna be
what a cracker!
Big up to everyone in the chat. I'll catch you later, Mick. Hope you have a good one, bro.
Big up, Mark. Have a good one. Have a good Deutsche class, guys. We're gonna wrap up the stream here. There's 172 of you watching. Give us a like, please. It's free. Don't be like the greedy glazes. We're going to summarize what we spoke about here. We spoke about the fire sale. 90% of the overall players are up for sale. For me, it's unrealistic at the end of the day. You wouldn't go out in the media to tell clubs that you are looking to offload 90% of your squad. That means that you don't have any negotiation bargain. But we also looked at, in general, how much each place, if you decide to sell them, will generate and relieve on the wage bill, on the annual wage bill, comparing to also if you add on a sell price. So there is money to be generated. It could be anything from 300 million to 500 million pounds, like just because relieving wage bill and selling those players. And then we looked at the overall transfer market, what kind of positions we need to strengthen, what kind of value. And at the end of the day, we probably could go and spend 250, net spend in general, and come with a really good squad. But for me, at the end of the day, the hardest thing this summer, it's going to be a massive window, but more on the outs. If we can get 4 players in, that's a good window. If we can get 5, we will see. We will rate it at the end of the day. So it's been a fantastic stream, people. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for contributing. I've seen a lot of good legends in here. Ivo Bosic, Jarle Malmin, Jarvis Cocker is here, Sim as well, Michael Zakaria, Gary Caesar, Mark and Mick, Rajat V, Number 1 Milf Hunter, and Craig Warby, the Voganator. So many of you as well. So please, guys, smash the living like button. It's free and it helps the algorithm. Until then, people, it's been a beautiful show. Thank you for watching, and we shall see you later on tonight or tomorrow. Glory, glory, Manchester United. Don't forget, Glazes out. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching Mufc Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.